us on the phone line is Jozi Matongo, ANC Greater Johannesburg spokesperson, and we're also expecting Kume Ramulefe as the DA Johannesburg chairperson. Thank you so much for your time, Jozi. Just give us the context as to why there isn't a continuation of the projects of the previous administration.
Thank you very much. I think the key point to be made is that Mayor Mashaba has got a deep-seated prejudice and hatred for the ANC and its administration, and he has said himself in the first interview he had that the ANC government never did anything. There's nothing good that the ANC has done, even though there's evidence for everybody to see the changes implemented by the ANC. So the mayor has decided to cancel the Jozi at Work program, including many other programs. But for us, the cancellation of the Jozi at Work program, which employed over 8,000 people, which ensured that over 112 small enterprises in the city were contracted to run the program, is a direct attack on the poor and the vulnerable in the city of Johannesburg. So the happenings in council today are quite unfortunate in that the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Mayor Mashaba, refused to go out and receive a memorandum from the marchers who had marched peacefully to the city, who had applied and were granted permission to apply to march to the city. Unfortunately, the mayor refused to go out and receive the memorandum, and he cited the reason that those marchers were party politically inclined and that they were organized by the ANC. And we want to state on record that those people who marched today to the city are not ANC. They are not. They were not organized by the ANC to come and march to the city. But what we find very disturbing is that in last year's council meeting, the mayor was allowed an opportunity to go and receive a memorandum from DA supporters who had marched to the city. But today, when ordinary people who are affected in terms of the cancellation of the Jozi at Work program march to the city, the mayor refuses to go out and meet those people.
Mr. Matongo,
just claims he is pro-poor.
Sorry, just stay on the line. We're trying to get Mr. Kume Ramulefo, the DA Johannesburg chairperson. And while we dial that number, just in terms of, you were saying that 8,000 jobs are likely to be lost due to the cancellation of this project. Give us a sense of the successes of the Jozi at Work and Jozi Bread programs. How long were they running? What is the budget? And how has this benefited the residents of Gauteng or Johannesburg?
Well, the Jozi at Work program has been running for over 3 years. And as we have said, 8,000 people were currently in the program. 112 SMMEs and small businesses were also part of the program. The city, under the administration of the ANC, had set aside over 3 billion rand to be used in the implementation of the program. And the bone of contention here is that we are saying as the ANC, the state cannot be the only employer of people. Now, how do you create jobs in a situation where there are high levels of unemployment? And we have come up with a program to say, can communities be employed as cooperatives in delivering services that the city would have contracted out and paid a lot of money to service providers? For instance, the cutting of grass is not a complicated service that can be done by ordinary community members. Why do you need a service provider that you will contract, that will employ a few people and you pay a lot of money to those people?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I believe we have Mr. Ramulefe on the line, a DA Johannesburg chairperson. Thanks so much for joining us. Just your reaction from your counterpart in the ANC saying that the Joburg mayor is hell-bent on destroying the ANC programs that have been successful, that you are antagonistic, and that this is purely based on party politics as opposed to service delivery. Good evening.
A long time, but yeah, thanks for the opportunity to participate in the debate. Just to put it very bluntly, the ANC believes whatever they have done was great, and they forgot that that is not necessarily the case. The August 3rd results were just the proof that whatever they thought they have done great is not necessarily the case. And what we're actually saying to them is they must respect that, and the DA has got its own approach of how to run.
All right, your line is not so great. Please move around a little bit. But I mean, in light of saving the 8,000 jobs that are likely to be lost, is the DA looking to absorb these people into future projects, or is it just a case of scratching this particular one because it happens to be part of the previous administration?
Indeed, we believe that in actual fact, the program itself is just going to be revamped in a way that it will absorb more people to get job opportunities than the way it has been doing. So what we have been trying to do is also to cut the middlemen who actually get a lot of money rather than the actual beneficiaries who do the work at the end. And what we're simply saying is allow us the opportunity to put our programs in place. And when we put our programs in place, we will be able to be assessed and be judged based on what we have done. So we are simply saying ANC must not think that these programs which they've initiated are still going to pursue and advance those programs. So the government has changed hands. Let's allow the new government which is in place to do what they think is best.
Just very quickly, can I just get you on record, Ramolefo, that you're saying the 8,000 jobs that were part of the Jozi at work will be secured. The DA will not jeopardize these individuals.
Yeah. What we're simply saying that this program which we are revamping is going to create more jobs than actually currently. And what we are simply saying again is to say people will not be absorbed or get opportunities because they have membership of a political party, which was the case. And we are saying these jobs which government will probably be facilitating are not patronage jobs or opportunities. But we want to ensure that especially young people who are unemployed, who are not skilled, they need to get real opportunities which they will be able to sustain. And when the program comes to an end, they should have something to say. This is the skill which I have. I can then pursue or advance my life.
All right, just
that is how we're looking
yes.
at all these programs which we inherited. And some of them, when they were reviewed, Mashaba realized that they were not necessarily adding value, despite the fact that there's huge amount of money which has been set aside to ensure that this program succeeds.
All right, let's just get a quick reaction from Mr. Matongo. The DA saying that they will do their utmost to absorb the 8,000 or so jobs that are on the line. Will you hold them accountable, or are you willing to at least investigate synergies and see where you can meet each other in the middle?
Well, as the ANC, we are not married to Jozi at Work as a program, but what we are committed to is to see the 8,000 workers employed in the city. And now, that is the interesting part. The DA is non-committal. They will not say to you, we will absorb the 8,000. We asked the mayor today in council the question, will the 8,000 still have jobs after you have closed Jozi at Work? And he was wishy-washy, he was not committal. We are not married to yellow overalls or Jozi at Work, as it were, but we are committed to make sure that the workers are absorbed to the city if that is the approach of the DA. And if that is done, by all means, the DA can continue and do what it wants to do. They can rebrand the program. We're not interested, but our interest is to ensure that the 8,000 have got jobs come the end of the program. But what is also quite important is that we have accepted that we are an opposition. If we had not accepted, we would not be in those opposition benches. We want to appeal to the DA to start governing and stop this obsession of the previous administration. They must start governing, they must put on the table their programs. Because up to now, there's nothing that the DA has put forward as an alternative program to what the ANC has been doing.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Mr. Jolidi Matongo, ANC Greater Johannesburg spokesperson, and Mr. Kume Ramolefo, the DA Johannesburg chairperson, speaking about the Jozi at Work program that has subsequently been cancelled by the DA-led administration, with 8,000 jobs or so being on the line. It's something that will follow closely. But for now, on to other stories.